Good afternoon and welcome to this last but one session, number 12 of this second day of the TIEF, which will be coming to its conclusion today with the reference of supplier, let's say, of activity, and whereas tomorrow we will be talking about scientific and university research. It is the first time that TIEF deals with cinema industry and movies. A first step along these new interests. We will be launching a number of different TIEFs during the year with specific topics and talking about one day TIEF, and we will dedicate one to cinema as well. So cinema production, Islamic and Eastern country productions is not well known, unluckily, because we have a very developed production in the Arabic country, Gulf and Palestine. I mean, it has a high value, and it is very often shown only in art houses and special circuits, unluckily, because they are very interesting productions. However, there is a huge world outside, which is also the Turkish production, which is not well known here, not known at all, which have a high visibility. We are talking about 700 million, 1 billion people in the world. We are not only talking about the area where Turkish is spoken, but nowadays also in the United States, many people in Germany. We are not only talking about Turkish communities, we are also talking about Western communities, so a new value approach of this Turkish production, which are often in competition with the so-called trash production of the United States cinema world, which very often carry with themselves a negative value. And this is a very interesting sign of the changes in public opinion and market perception. So now I would like the floor to go to our first panelist, Pietro Biancone, who will give us a few general figures and trends with respect to the media recreation situation in Islam. And then we will give the floor to Paolo Manero, who does not need any introduction, and Saverio Berti, you all know. So, Paolo, the floor is yours. Thank you, Alberto. If you can show the slide. Sorry, but we cannot hear the voice of the speaker. Now it is back. So this is the media and recreation word and some figures talking about Islamic culture. And the figures are highly interesting, 220 billion expending for entertainment and film production, 1.8 billion people. We have a dissemination, a distribution, let's say, that according to the maps you can see covers the whole world, the planet, let's say. You have markets with a lot of members of audience, different audiences. So we have a double point of view, markets in which TV series and movies and entertainment are produced, and the countries where all of these is shown and distributed. There are governments such as Malaysia, Bahrain, Qatar, Brunei, United Emirates that invest large sums in entertainment, therefore urging for local production and for leading production somehow inspired to their markets somewhere else in the world. So this is the challenge facing everybody. When we developed this panel, we decided on a specific challenge. That is to say, let's talk about the impact size of TV productions. We go beyond the cinema colonialism, wherein production would sustain specific values. We are talking about the mere economic impact. Talking about TV production, we have seen through pandemic crisis the development of also cinema production. Anyway, TV production has a direct impact when it is shot in a specific territory. Paola Manera, the director of Film Commission, will talk about this in a few minutes, but there is also an indirect impact when we talk about territory visibility. Of course, the planet Italy does not need to be introduced to the rest of the world, but, however, it is necessary to connect the visibility of the places and tourism with a specific goal is something interesting. So it would be nice to have local productions as well from this point of view. So just remember that what we want is to develop productions which may also be shown in different languages at planetary level so that they can be generalized and used by also different kind of potential tourism members. And Saverio Berti, who is a specialized operator, who's a tour operator who is specialized in these subject matters, will talk about this. Now I would like Paolo Manero to take the floor. He can talk about the very positive experience developed in the Turin and Piedmont territory by Film Commission. Good morning. Good afternoon. Sorry, but the speaker is freezing every now and then. So I would like to ask the video, the technician to show the video, which video about Piedmont, showing places and faces that are well known as far as production is concerned, and that can develop a sort of postcard, let's say, on Piedmont and its productions.
So what you have seen is a video assembling a series of parts of films made over the past 10 years with actors that are very well known in Italy and abroad, and places that we believe have become even more known in Italy and abroad thanks to many films produced for the cinema and also TV series and also commercials and many productions. It's important to support with the filmmaking of documentaries, of commercials, of TV series and TV programs, musical shows and food shows that somehow have changed our perception of what this city is, capital city of the Piedmont region, and for the entire region. We believe that if we know more of Italy abroad, and the perception has changed, and there has been a strong impact of tourism for Turin and Piedmont, and certainly important events such as the Winter Olympics have been for 2006. There is an interruption in the connection. 15 films for cinema, about 10 TV series and many other projects. I would like to remind you that in 2019 we supported 208 productions, and in 2021 the figures will be much higher. Even the year of the pandemic, 2020, has registered an important activity. So what is called cinema tourism is a driver to an encouragement to visit places belonging to other cultures. And cinema is a very important instrument for that. And then there is another aspect, that is the economic return in the short term, immediate, that is provided by the expense, the investment that productions make on the territory. We have seen through the accurate assessment of budgets provided for film shooting in Piedmont, and this leads to an important number of pay slips and payments and salaries for all the staff, and also for a specific industry, for the extras, for loaning and renting of materials, equipment, and then all the carpentry, all the specialized artisans producing the settings for films. And also, this investment leads to an important return also in terms of reception facilities, hotels and restaurants, transport services, taxis, all the reception services. It's a small city coming within the city, and all the jobs, all the professional categories and shops are involved. So what are the figures? We can estimate figures between 15-20 million euros. That's in immediate investment over the territory. Enough of this figure is devoted to salaries, to pay slips, to paying for the staff involved. And Turin is one of the capitals for the audiovisual. If Rome is a capital of cinema for many reasons, it has been for many decades, and if Milan is a reference point for commercial TV, for commercials, for fashion, Turin is certainly, there is an interruption unfortunately, is very innovative, and a whole series of novelties that see the emergence of new talents, of independent cinema, that find a home in Turin. So what is the level of internationalization of this world that I am describing? Only over the past few years, we have registered a constant presence of large international productions. In 2018 onwards, we hosted Hollywood productions, and also as the UK productions, both for cinema and TV, that have come. Unfortunately, there is another interruption in the connection. We also have hosted a large Indian production, Bollywood, so film making that is very much alive, very active, and with great involvement of figures and spreading not only India and Pakistan, but involving the entire globe. We are aware of the important productions from Turkey and the potential represented by the entire Islamic world. To date, we only have had some context. I'm thinking about documentaries, and Turin is a place of strong immigration and exchange, encounters between different worlds. Many reference points for the Islamic world. And so part of this cultural exchange has been told through authors' documentaries. And we are starting to have co-productions with France and Morocco that we have followed and participated in with great interest. Certainly, it's a world to be explored and extended with great attention. And therefore, we are fully interested and available, and I would like to thank you once again for the invitation to this important, prestigious occasion of exchange and dialogue. I really do hope that this is but a starting point of a long-lasting project and an occasion to cooperate for the future. There are special characteristics in this world and in a special territory where dialogue with the Islamic world has its own specific characteristics of liveliness, and therefore they can provide us with mutual strength. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Paolo Manera, Director of Film Commission Turin Piedmont. And now the floor to those who attract tourism, so also luxury tourism, and also an indirect setback, an indirect effect on tourism. Saverio Berti, you have the floor. Saverio, we cannot hear you. We can't hear you.
Saverio, non ti sentiamo.
Saverio, we cannot hear you.
Non ti sentiamo.
We can't hear you.
Adesso stiamo ristabilendo il contatto.
We're trying to get back the contact. Saverio Berti is at the Rimini Fair on Tourism and is connecting live from the fair.
Tanto ieri sera
Yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Allora, dovremmo avere
Okay, we should have Saverio back.
Saverio, ti sentivamo prima con il microfono.
We could hear you earlier with the microphone.
Dicevamo, ieri sera eravamo
I was saying that yesterday we visited the locations of Italian Job, 1969 version. That is one of the films shot in Turin, one of the most famous ones for the UK context. Can you hear me? Yes, we can hear you, Saverio. I'm sorry, I'm connecting from the International Tourism Fair from Rimini, and my presence in this context is wishing well to make the tourist world get out of this terrible period that we have had. I will just say a forward. Tourism is related to cinema, and tourism related to cinema is quite recent. And therefore, we try and make the example of large productions from Hollywood, but also from Italy, that have had an influence and created positive effects at the international level. We can mention films such as Braveheart related to Scotland, Harry Potter related to the UK. In our country, we have the large fictions of Commissario Montalbano that is set in Sicily. So until reaching the productions that we have had in Piedmont in recent years that increased the tourism to the beautiful castles of Allier with Liva di Rivombrosa. So certainly the film productions are inserted into the Piedmontese context. Unfortunately, the audio is very bad, the audio of the speaker. Piedmont has all the characteristics to host productions, and as an operator, I can simplify the logistics services of the productions. And I invite you to visit the locations, and so having an effect over the territory. And then working in a Piedmontese context, where obviously there are all the possibilities to use very high-level services in terms of tourism. I created a brand that is called the Need Italy Tours, addressed to a luxury segment, clients that require special incentives, and to disseminate all the characteristics. Tourism involves a series of operators, and the operators that have to be selected in quality terms. So this means that to turn into a certain type of world, they need to reach a certain standards, they need to meet them, such as the halal certification we are aiming at, and operators are very much interested in that, to turn to a world requiring these characteristics. Our services, our packages are first of all tailor-made within the territory, thanks to investments that have been made over the past few years. We can use structures and five-star luxury resorts scattered all around our territory. We can offer high-level restaurants providing for local food. For example, these days, the international white truffle fair is held in Alba, and several other facilities in Turin, and have reserved lounges for example, for the ATP finals right now in Turin. And then other facilities and services, packages for football. Until reaching, for example, the possibility of purchasing luxury products in our boutiques. What we are proposing is to offer a kind of experience that is irreplaceable, that is to be custom-made, tailor-made for every client. Clients should be able to live the experience they desire under all aspects. That is our philosophy. That is our target. Thank you very much, Saverio, for your intervention. And also the location you were talking from was showing the ferment, the liveliness we all need in order to attract tourism. Okay, so thank you very much to Mr. Paolo Manero, Director of Film Commission, Turin, Piedmont, and Saverio Berti from Need Italy Tours for this experience, for sharing this experience and showing us another side of tourism that could be very inspiring in order to make our territory appreciated. So with this, I would like to conclude session number 12, and we are getting started for the next session.